Listen, we warned you. We were coming in hot tonight. So I am here to tell you, and it's so funny because we told the universe that we wanted to come before you as we round out Women's History Month to talk about the journey of entrepreneurship. And what do you know? We get a young lady today that reaches out and was like, oh my God, it's so stressful. I'm so overwhelmed. How do y'all do it? I don't know what to
Wow.
do. I need help. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing my mind. I don't even know if this is the right thing to do. And I said, baby, you know what? We are here for the culture. And so, like I said on a couple of the posts earlier today, when you get two financial professionals in the room, like, we talk about this stuff all day long, trying
Yes.
to help the people. So we are here tonight. I am joined by my good girlfriend, Miss Dorothea Kelly, founder and CEO of the Money Chat, as well as Workspace Spark. But we're
Yes.
here tonight to have some money chat. And so I wanted to welcome you to this live broadcast tonight, Dorothy. And I'm looking forward to some of the nuggets that you'll be able to share with other women in business.
Thank you so much. Yes, Felice. I'm very happy to be here with you. Thank you for the invitation. I've been watching all of your lives and I'm like, oh my goodness. Everyone's like, oh, she's good. She's good. They're good. So thank you for having me on. I'm excited to get into it.
We're going to try to not stay all night long
I
because, we
know.
can talk about this stuff
We
all
can
night
do.
long. But we ain't going to keep the people all night long. But I
I
would just
know.
like to start out by asking if you could tell our listening audience about your journey as an entrepreneur and how you got started in business.
Absolutely. So, the road is not straight. It's, it's winding.
Yeah.
So for me, I always was intrigued by entrepreneurship. I was like, what is this, owning your own business? So I did my research. I have done a lot of stuff. So when I first started, I sold candles. Me and my partner, shout out to Jermaine. I know he's gonna watch this, but years ago, he really gave me one of my first opportunities to sell. We were selling candles, those small candles.
Okay.
We started that and we did that for a little while. But
Okay.
wait a minute, let me go right back. I got to go back because I got to tell the people about this. My
I was
very,
going to say,
very
because
first
I had
thing.
never heard that part of the story before. I'm like, this
Oh
is
my
new
goodness.
to
Oh
me.
my goodness. A couple things. Did you know I used to clean houses?
No, I did not. Why don't you
Yes.
come on over?
Listen, my mama taught me well, honey, and that was a hustle that paid. I'm telling you, it's a
Handsomely.
good hustle.
Okay.
So I cleaned houses. I also taught my daughters to clean houses because you never know when you're gonna need a little extra cash, and that's the one of the quickest hustles you can do. So I did that. So the candles. I made jewelry. I don't even have anything, but I made jewelry.
Okay.
That was something that I did doing the show. So when people come to me and they're doing like all these vendor events, and I might be like, girl, don't do that. It's not because I just don't like vendor events. I love them actually, but there's some experience there. And then what started my journey with the financial coaching was trying to constantly find that thing. Like, what is it really going to take for me to be able to actually make money? And then I started teaching myself about personal finances and getting my money together because I always tell people I was a single mother. I had two daughters and I didn't want to be broke, and I didn't want them to feel like they lacked because they were in a single parent household. Even to this day, I feel like single parents get dumped on a little too much, a lot too much.
Okay.
And I didn't want my girls to feel like they lacked anything. So I knew that in order to do that, I had to get my money together. And that's how the financial coaching piece of the business started. I started teaching myself. And then once about a year or two down the line, I said, okay, now I can teach other people. And that is how I started with the financial coaching side, then teaching
Awesome.
entrepreneurs and started doing business coaching later. So that's where all of that came from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That is a wonderful story. And some of the stuff I had never even heard of before. So, the things you find out, when you invite somebody into the room.
Mhm.
So, you talked a little bit about some of the challenges that you have, but if can you share like one of the biggest challenges that you've had when that you faced as a business owner and how you overcame it?
Time and money, like period. Like, and that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Okay. All right.
Time and money, I think, are some things that I really struggled with in the
Okay.
beginning. And I think another thing that I know that I struggled with was knowing what to do. I didn't, in the beginning, I didn't hire coaches. I felt like I didn't have the money, and I didn't I went to all the free stuff, free seminars, free this. I maybe paid a little bit for a little bit of things, but I felt like I didn't have the money to hire a coach to show me how to run a business.
Okay.
And that was a huge challenge and a huge hurdle, because it's almost like you're chasing your tail. You don't know what you don't know because you're not working with anybody who can give you the steps to take. And if I had it to do all over again, I would have just paused, found the money, and worked with somebody that probably could have taken my business 5 years ahead.
Collapse decades into days.
There it is. That's it. Collapse.
Yeah.
Girl, go ahead with that. Collapse decades into days. That's the truth. That's
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah, get the Cliff Notes version. You always, I mean, it's no different than there's nothing new under the sun, and that, wisdom is our best teacher. And so you get somebody that's already been down the road, down the
Yes,
path, down the trail that you've been, and ask them how you did it. And
exactly.
sometimes people will willingly just share, but sometimes you have to invest in yourself and you have to dig a little bit deeper and go
Yes,
ahead and pay. It's worth it,
it's worth
in
it.
the long run.
It's worth it. So one of my biggest advice, and I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but listen,
Oh,
if the
no.
course is $2,000, if it's $5,000,
Yeah.
as long as they're reputable and they have receipts and all the things that you need to know that they can take your business to the next level, listen, pay the
Do
money.
it. Do
Pay
it.
the money.
I know I've invested a ton in myself and in my
Mhm.
business. Well,
Yes.
again, that's a good segue. I like to ask if you would share some money management tips on how you came up with the Money Chat brand. And you got a book, girl. What's that?
Yeah. Hey.
All right.
So little known history fact, money chat is how me and you met.
Absolutely.
Um, this fine. I mean, y'all know, listen, Valise be sharp. She had me turning my head like, what? Oh, okay, come through, sis. She came into one of my money chat events. And so money chat
Because
started.
I love all things money. So when I
Yes,
see something about money, I'm like, I'm going to see what they're talking about.
honey. And I'm so glad you came on in the room.
Yep.
I was already doing financial coaching, teaching people, speaking, doing all the things. And then Twitter, that wonderful thing called Twitter came along, and
Yeah.
hashtags and all this stuff. And I said, oh Lord, one more thing. But then I got a hold of it and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a money chat, Twitter chat. That's how it started. And it was and
Wow.
I got to give some shout outs, thanks to some of my good friends who kind of helped me along, Hodge, and then my other friend, Nicole Christian, because she said, Dorothea, money chat on Twitter, you're making a difficult conversation, something that brings shame. You're making it easier for people to have the conversation because you're making it fun. So
Yeah.
then we took the online conversation offline and I started doing money chat live events, which you came to one of the first ones
Yeah.
that we had. And it made the conversation a cool, and that's what I wanted, a cool, fun convo. No shame. We've all done some stuff with money. We've all made some mistakes. We're talking about moving forward. We're going to laugh about it. We might cry about it, but now we're moving forward. And
Yeah.
that's how hashtag money chat came about. It really was a blessing because nobody was on top of Twitter and stuff like that. So shout out to Hodge because he told me to stick with it. Hodge
Yeah.
Flemings. And we were all doing all of that back then. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, everybody tries to get money chat, but now I have it.
That's right.
So
That's right.
that's how the brand started.
Woo.
That's how it started. And then I took the conversation from the live events and I said, I'm going to write a book based on the experiences that we're having online, in person at these events, and from my coaching clients.
In real
And
life.
that, and in real life. And this is actually the second edition um,
Okay.
of Money Chat that is actually, ready to rock and roll. So thank you so much for asking. But
Oh,
Here's one thing I do want to add as it relates to entrepreneurship. Another reason that it's so important to get your money right is because we take those same bad habits from our personal finances into our businesses.
Come
And
on,
Denise, I know you have
come
seen
on.
some stuff. We've shared war stories of
Yeah,
entrepreneurs. You just want to give them a big old hug and say, "Come on,
yeah,
baby, let me help you," because
yeah.
they're mixing their personal and their business money. They're not, they're not keeping track of what's going on in their personal finances. Because we raise your hand if you had to dip into your home money, your personal money, to pay for something in your business.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know what's going on, you don't know what you can and cannot do. So it's just important to get that foundation so that you can have a successful business financially as well.
Absolutely. You got to know your numbers. You got to know your numbers in
Yes.
life and in part and in business. Either way, and you will if you don't get your personal life together before
Together.
you start your business, you will take those same bad, poor money management behaviors that you
Yeah.
have in your personal finance, and they will show up and rear their ugly heads in your
Yeah.
business, and you'll be out of business before you
Yes.
know it. I say it all the time. Entrepreneurship, of course, we know it's not for the faint at heart.
It
You
is not.
have a die-hard spirit in order to be an entrepreneur. But the thing about it is that especially after COVID, post-COVID, people are starting businesses at record highs. And yet 50% fail within the first 5 years, and it's often due to poor cash flow management and
Yes.
lack of funding. And you can't get no funding because you're not managing your money right and you're not
That's right.
documenting. You don't know your numbers. You don't have a system in place. Like
Yeah.
we can go on and on and on
Yes.
all the
Yes.
things that they're not doing right. And they glaze over it. People glaze over it, but it's really foundational
Yes.
steps that you cannot afford to skip over.
No, no,
You
because don't, just like when the in the middle of COVID, I didn't do this, but I know you helped people with their PPP. But you were telling me how many people couldn't qualify
yeah,
because they didn't have their finances in order.
they didn't have that finance, so they were
Yeah,
scrambling. Oh, I need to get my books up to date. Well, you need 12 months, 24 months. You need how many months and books and how fast you think? I don't have
yeah.
a magic wand. This
No
is not
one.
how
There is
this
no
is done.
one.
So you know what they say it all the time. When you stay ready, you don't have to
To
get
get
ready.
ready, okay.
And when you're serious about the passions and the desires and the gifts that God placed on the inside of you, and you're trying to share that gift with the world, you really need to be very intentional about making sure that you put the foundational, things in place to make sure that you can remain viable in the marketplace.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. So I love the Money Chat brand. I love the Money
Thank
Chat
you.
book. You know, I got my Money Chat merch and I still rock
Yes.
it to this day, all day, every day. But, and, and it's so, it was so intriguing to me when I saw it, and it's very unique. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, how do you differentiate yourself in your business from your competitors in the industry? Money Chat is unique in of
Yes.
itself, and I know you got
Yes.
your trademark on there.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
there is none like it.
No, that's why I said I got it. So
Yeah,
I cease and desist
yeah.
letters.
You will not today nor tomorrow.
Nor tomorrow. Yes. So I think that one of the key things for me, especially in the money space, like we're all friends. So one thing that I know for sure in my space, and then I can talk to folks about their space, is there's room enough for everybody, because there's
Absolutely.
always going to be someone who needs help the way you deliver it.
That's
So my style isn't for everybody. I'm live and in living color. I'm coming telling you what to do. Somebody else may need somebody who's a little more calmer. It's like, want to hold your hand and be like, baby, it's gonna be okay, a little longer than I might. So
like
for
me.
me, so for me, there's always room and I welcome everybody, but
Yeah.
I do my best to operate in excellence, to have my systems in place. And I used to hate when people say systems because I didn't know what that was at the time, but basically how you run your business.
Yeah.
And I've got things written out and my team is trained, and then I have to remind myself, like, sometimes you can be in business for a long time and then you forget how to handle that brand new customer, right?
Yeah.
So I read books on customer service. I There's one book that
Good.
I definitely recommend to everybody, and it's called Never Lose a Customer Again. And
Okay.
that has been one of the best books I've read on how to treat your customers, whether you are service based or product based business, how to treat your customers so that even if they're irate, you still put some sugar on it and, invite them to move right on along
Yeah.
versus, some of the other things. So that's one way. The other thing is I study. I think that one thing, and I found myself in this when I first started, I had more time for study, but as you become more popular and get busier, you don't have as much time for study. So then I had to backtrack and say, okay, you have to stay on top of what's going on in your industry. That's
Yeah.
very important. You need to be
Yes.
reading white papers and watching the news as it relates to whatever your industry is. You should be on top of it. So those are some of the things that I do. And then I am not afraid to, um, we cannot be afraid to ask our customers. Sometimes you don't want to hear some of that feedback, but you always have to say, hey, what could I have done differently? What do you need? Type of thing.
Yes. Yes. That's good. Yes. Good. So, what type of strategies would you recommend that people use not only to keep their customers and keep them happy and deliver wow and awesome to
Mhm.
to their customers, but do you have any suggestions or strategies that you would recommend that people use to market and
Yes,
promote their business?
absolutely. Depending on, and it doesn't really necessarily depend because there's always podcasts. There's people with YouTube channels and shows and all these kind of things. I would definitely, if it's not you, maybe someone on your team could go on and talk about a topic and then also talk about your business, right? So that's one thing. I use a lot of paid advertising, online marketing, paid advertising, whether your thing is Google Ads, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Facebook's the biggest one, and everybody thinks their customer is not on Facebook, but I don't want to make this blanket statement, but most of y'all customers are on Facebook. So it's just, Facebook is just a really good way once you learn it or once you hire it out at an affordable rate. I do a lot of paid advertising and social media, but I'm also a speaker. So whenever you speak, you generally get a lot of attention, um, so that you can grow your business. But if that's not your thing, it's okay. Do
Yeah.
social, do paid advertising, do podcasts where you maybe they don't do video. Just you want to stay on top of what's happening now. A lot of people make the mistake of still doing what they were doing 10 years ago. That's not working. Now, if it was working, keep it up. But
Yeah.
if it's not working, you have to kind of change with the times. So those are some of the things that I do, and I would definitely suggest.
Baby, you must be in my head or in my heart or something because each one of these questions is just they're just naturally flowing.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to talk a little bit about how you stay up to date with industry trends and
Mhm.
any type of advice that you could offer to market your business or adapt your business
Mhm.
accordingly with the trends and things that's happening because it just seems like trends and the algorithms and everything is
Yes,
changing so
I
fast,
know.
like faster than the cell phones. Before
I
you can
know.
get the latest phone, they coming out when they're already making a new one. So
I know.
how do we stay up to date with all of this?
So listen, use this software and the tools that are out here. Set alerts. So you want to, whatever, let's say, oh my goodness, let's say your industry is you frame pictures.
Yeah.
You want to know about the conferences that picture framers go to. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's a very technical name, I just don't know. But you want to know about the conferences that picture framers go to. You want to know about the events in your city. Set alerts Get alerts, set reminders. Once you find out about these conferences, put alerts in your phone that say, okay, a month out, research this or look into this or pay for this and go. So you want to be in the room with people who are doing what you're doing, because it's in the room
Yeah.
that you learn the things that you're not going to find anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing. I also believe in what is called a CEO day. That is the day, that's how I'm able to like do my industry research. That's my day. And if you can't, if you're like, Dorothy, I can't do a whole day, do a half a day. Just, I don't suggest you try to do it like 1 hour a day, because in that 1 hour, it'll get eaten up with something else. But you need
Yeah.
a couple of hours focused for your industry. Are you watching? I'll just give myself some example for me. Am I watching Yahoo Finance, MSNBC News to see what's going on in the industry, what bank is collapsing or who's getting saved from what? And
Yeah.
am I taking notes? That's another thing. So you're just not just watching, take notes. However you do, electronically or on paper,
Yeah.
take notes. Because when you start doing that, that's why I say do it for a couple of hours. You're watching the shows, maybe you're listening to some podcasts, maybe you're actually reading a magazine or a paper. When you do that, your wheels start turning.
Yeah.
I also do this on airplanes because I'm focused and my wheels start turning, and I write down notes, I write down content, I write down questions I need to ask, that I need to research something I may not understand about what's going on. So that's how I stay on top of industry trends. CEO day or half a day.
That's good.
And
Or
by,
professional development day. A lot
there
of
you
people.
go. There
Yeah.
you go. There you go. Exactly.
But that's good. I love it.
Mhm.
I love it. Um, so where's the work-life balance in all of this? What happened? Is that a thing? Like, is it real? Is it
You want you now? Okay, you want me to tell the truth, or you want me to put some sugar on it? What you
we
want?
we I like sugar, but sugar is not good for us. So we gonna stay away from the sugar, and we gonna take it raw and like
Okay, okay. So I'm just gonna keep it 110%.
okay. Help the people.
If you whether you are full time or part time in entrepreneurship, when you are really trying to grow and build a business, it is very hard to have work life balance.
It's
I
hard.
just have to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Work life balance comes when you have a team. And like I have a team for both businesses, and it provides me a lot of relief, but then I had to build there. So, and it doesn't have to be full time. You can
Yeah.
have part time people and contractors. They're going to take some work off your shoulders.
Yes.
And when they take that work off your shoulders, you'll then be able to have more work life balance. That goes back to having how you're going to run your business written down. So
Yeah.
that's training, that's processes. That's
Yep.
what happens when a customer comes from the moment they come into the door to when they buy, and the follow up after.
The
So
journey, your
the
standard
journey, yes,
operating
the
procedure.
customer journey, the
Yeah.
customer journey. So you're going to want to sit down with your people and just say, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to cook dinner. What can we do here? I'm sorry, but I might miss a few things. Now, I once heard Damon John say this, and I vowed this wouldn't happen. Love Damon John, but I was at a Black Enterprise conference years ago, and he said that being an entrepreneur is how he got divorced and ended up, single. And this was forever ago. And I remember thinking, and he went into some more detail I just can't remember now, but I remember thinking, I don't want to build something that I don't have anybody to share it with, because I've chosen that this takes precedence over anything else.
Yeah.
So you do have to check yourself and say, okay, I've got, how many more family events am I going to miss?
Yeah.
Pick and choose. Come to some. Maybe you're not going to make all of them. That's just real. You're not going to be able to be everywhere doing all the things.
Yeah.
We have friends. All of our friends are rock stars. They are doing everything under the sun. And then others, they may not be entrepreneurs, but they've got life events that we want to attend.
Right.
So you pick and choose. If you
Yeah.
have a book launch party, maybe I come to that, and maybe I have to miss your birthday party. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I
Absolutely.
I want you to know that I love you. And sometimes please accept this flowers that was delivered on your doorstep with that lovely note, because I cannot
Exactly.
be everywhere doing everything and still feed myself and be there for my
You
family.
can't pour for it from an empty cup.
You cannot. And the one thing I do believe in self-care.
Okay.
One thing that I'm going to say this to all my entrepreneurs, and this is from a recovering and not recovering, because I still got two businesses, right? Pick one. I want you to pick one thing that you love. I want you to go after that. If that's the business, if that's it, pick it, go after it full force. Put all your energy there, because you're going to, if you work a full-time job, you're going to need energy in both places, plus family and personal life. If you've got 3 businesses, 5 businesses, how much time and energy and money are you able to devote to those? No, you're stretched
Realistically.
too thin.
Yeah,
You're stretched entirely too thin.
absolutely.
So focus on one thing, and you'll be able to have some more work-life balance,
Yeah.
because especially as you begin to bring your team on,
Yeah.
they'll be able to focus on that thing.
And once you
So
perfect that and stabilize that, then you can move on and birth some of those other ideals that you got brewing on the inside.
because guess what? You got a team managing that now, and it's paying for itself.
Yeah.
You've got an operations manager, and you've got people over there. You can walk away from that and just get weekly updates. Now you can go over here and start something else and build the team around that. What's happening is, when people hear multiple streams of income and I got a million businesses and all this and I'm a boss, what the story that's not being told is how the money is being stretched, who's really running it, and what balls are being dropped in
Yeah.
those businesses.
Yeah.
People who are, see, when you hear the term serial entrepreneur, I'll say this, then I'll stop, because I could be all day.
Yeah.
So when you hear the term serial entrepreneur, what that means is they have gotten that business stabilized, like you said, and moved on to the next thing. They're not stretching themselves so thin that they are trying to juggle in between all these things all the time. Well, that's what they should do. So
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. I think they got the message.
That's good. Well, that was good. That was good. And I don't want to spill my tea, but speaking of tea and not spilling no tea, I know that the word is out. The word is out. There's some things that's been going on, but I do want to hear a little bit about any upcoming goals or plans that you have for your business that you would like to share with us.
Okay. Yes. Well, right now it's the book pre-launch, and you mentioned Workspace Spark, so I'll share about that. I'll share about that first, and we'll talk about the book. So I do have a career growth subscription box, and what that is monthly delivery of career training and desk items and tools that you can use to grow your career to the next level. We interview experts every month that'll help you in different topics. So that's the subscription box, and it's a corporate gifting box as well, right? But I also am launching, well, we launched where the Money Chat book. We are ready to rock and roll. Please go to moneychatbook.com. I added some chapters that, like I said before, this is an updated and revised version. I added some chapters. Last book was 8 years ago. Things have changed. So much has changed. So I
So
wanted
much
to add
has
in some
changed.
things for what is going on right now in people's finances. So this is a great book to gift. It looks beautiful on a coffee table, if I must say so myself, but I do want you to read it as well. The other thing is, when you go, I have so many bonuses. The main bonuses for those who do the pre-order, you also will get the audio book. So you get 2 for the price of 1, but
Okay.
only during pre-order, not once we launch. So
Okay.
you want to get it right now. But so thank you so much for asking. That is what's going on now. Book tour time.
That's right. Book tour time. That is wonderful. I'm so
Thank you.
excited for you. I'm so happy
Thank
for
you.
you. And, as much as we discussed tonight, I would be remiss if I wouldn't say that, a couple of exciting things have been going on, in the tried and true financial services world. Many of you
Yes.
know that we came in second place in the Michigan Women Forward virtual pitch competition last week. And during that pitch competition, I shared the big news of what I built into my business plan is something that's very near and dear to my heart. It's something that's heavy on my heart, something that keeps me up at night for these entrepreneurs that need help getting their finances in order. There's so many people. If COVID-19 didn't show us nothing else, it definitely pulled the wool back on how many people, established businesses that did not have their finances in order. It is so important because you don't want to miss out on opportunities. So Tried and True Financial Services is launching its first ever DIY bookkeeping live boot camp series. Right after tax season is over with, we're going right into the boot camp because I want to walk alongside with about 10 entrepreneurs, 10 brands who have not made the commitment to hire a bookkeeper, but they know they need their books done and they know they need their finances together. So I want to walk alongside them and take them through this quarterly series of, we're going to get in the room and we're going to, put our elbows down and we're going to get these books together because yes, we'll bring your elbow grease because we're going to get down and dirty with these books and get these numbers in order because you got to know your numbers and you got to be able to have your finances for a multitude of reasons so that you can file your taxes on time, so that you can know your numbers, so that you can forecast, so that you can plan, so that you can stop overspending, so that you can stop overdrafting, you can stop commingling, stop doing all the things, stop paying your personal expenses out of your business account. Stop doing all the things. Sit down, get some accountability to get you off and running for at least a year. It's a skill set that will be with them for forever. Once they learn it, it's enough to be dangerous. And eventually, once they grow and they can get to the point where they can delegate that and hire it out and do, pay somebody else to do it. But at least they have some insight as to the proper way to do it, what needs to be done. So when they're reviewing their financials, they know, because as a business owner, you got to know, even if you're delegating it to somebody else, you still have to know and understand the data behind those numbers and what those numbers are telling you about your business. So bookkeeping live boot camp coming to a theater near you real soon. So something
I love that.
about.
You know what I really love about that I haven't seen anyone else doing is the fact that you're going to be working right there with them, showing them what their accounts should look like, and they're going to walk away with everything cleaned up. That is key. So I think the first 10, hey, you better get in the room.
You better get in the room because we shutting the door, clank, clank, locking it down. But we're going to have fun. And like you said, with Money Chat, you got to make it fun. You got to make it exciting. You got to make it rewarding. And I want them to know that it is not as hard as they think. So it has certainly been a joy chatting with you.
Always.
I'm so happy and grateful for all of the great things that's happening in your life and the life of your businesses and everybody's life who you're touching. So you keep up the great work and keep doing what you're doing. And yes. So it has been a great time chatting with you all tonight. So you guys make sure that you go ahead and you follow. So both Dorothea and I, we flow in this financial services spaces, but we do totally different things, right? So you need you a financial money coach, somebody that's going to help get your life together. Holla at my girl because she's been at it for a long time. She knows what she's doing. If you want to chat about the money, to get the bag, make sure you holler at my girl. She has her website up here, www.moneychatbook.com. And of course, you can always reach us at triedandtruefs.com. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining. And we hope that something that's been said tonight will bless you and you will walk away with that nugget that will take you to the next level. Have a good night.